becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Focus Fridays on That Business Show. Now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. This weekly feature is brought to us by Julianne Nichols, CEO of the Focus on You strategy, bringing out the CEO in you. Learn more about her and her services at focusonyoustrategy.com. Julianne, welcome into the program this morning.
Good morning, Jamie. So great to be here.
And so let's first off talk about what the CEO exchanges that you do, because we're going to be talking with Bonnie Dye about how she met and how she benefited from one of your CEO exchanges. But you got a couple coming up, so let's begin the discussion with that. You have the next one up on November 15th.
Yes, it is at the Regis office suites in Lake Carolina. They call it Echelon, but it's in North St. Pete.
And what do people get out of the CEO exchanges? Explain those to me.
Well, it's a great place if you've got a challenge in your business or something that you can't seem to get past. You bring that challenge to a small group of people, no more than about 10 people, and we focus on getting that challenge, resolved in some ways, either resources or ideas or things that you can think about to help you move forward.
Yes, and I attended one just last week at the St. Pete location, the downtown location where your new office is. By the way, you have a lovely new office, all decorated in orange.
Oh, well, we brand well.
Any reason you chose orange for your color?
It's my favorite color.
That's your favorite color?
Yeah, everybody's always like, why'd you pick orange? And I said, if I'm going to be around a color all the time, I'm going to pick one I like.
Yeah, so no more complicated than that. Are you a fan of oranges, the fruit or anything?
Yeah,
so
sure.
nothing more complicated than you just like orange and the oranges themselves.
Yes.
So very cool. And you also have a CEO exchange coming up on the 17th, and now at the Bank of the Ozarks, formerly C1 Banks.
Yes, and that is at 4th Street North and 62nd Ave, I believe, in St. Pete as well.
And so the CEO exchanges are highly recommended. Again, a small, intimate group of your peers discussing your problems. And it's nice to know that other people out there are suffering as bad as you sometimes. And so that's the way I'd like to look at it.
So what did you get out of it, Jamie?
It's finding sponsors. That's always the challenge for this type of thing. Finding sponsors, how to talk to sponsors. That's always the number one challenge that any membership-based organization faces, of the radio show faces. And so hearing how to give back value to potential sponsors and everything.
Did you get some great feedback on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the big aha moment for you that day?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
Oh, big aha moment. You don't even remember.
Give me a second.
All right. I'll give you a moment to think about that.
And then you got your Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference coming up on April 27th and 28th. Now the Focus on Entrepreneurs Conference website is up. Let's talk a little about the conference.
It is and we're very excited about this. This is a conference that is by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. There's actually a lot of TBBO members who are on our host committee, and we're very excited about this. But this is a way for entrepreneurs to come together and really hone on the idea that all of us have challenges and things that we need to overcome, similar to our CEO exchanges. We actually realized this after doing many of these CEO exchanges, that a lot of entrepreneurs just get into a point where they need action items. We go to conferences, we get lots of inspiration, motivation, but really nothing that says, okay, go do this.
Right.
And this is how you do it. And all of it comes down to what our theme is this year is automate, delegate, and eliminate. And we all need to learn more about automation and how we can delegate better and how we can eliminate some of the things that we're doing that we don't need to be doing at all. Especially solopreneurs who are in overwhelmed status, this is a perfect place for you to be.
And you're looking for speakers. Tell us a little bit how this process works.
Actually, what we're looking for is some breakout speakers. We have some keynote speakers. Michael Gerber is our keynote speaker this year. He's the author of the E-Myth Revisited. And we're very excited. He has limited speaking engagements, so we're very excited that he's one of our keynote speakers. And then the breakout speakers that we're looking for are people who work with entrepreneurs a lot and who also can understand how this automate, delegate, eliminate.
And so how do they make application for the process?
They can send an email to info@focusoneNtrepreneursconference.com. And they'll send them a speaker packet and apply for that. We have a committee who's putting that together right now, that program. And in matter of fact, Miss Bonnie Dye is on that committee.
Yeah, and we'll be speaking with her in just a moment. So this conference is coming up on April 27th and 28th. You have early bird pricing through the end of the year. The website focus on entrepreneursconference.com. You got a landing page there right now, but that'll be up
That's going to be
soon.
changing probably over the weekend. That will be changing to the full site that will have everything. They're finishing up those last few pieces.
And so be sure to mark your calendars to get those early bird tickets before the price goes up at the beginning of the year. Now, we got a Facebook group, Focus Fridays. We got a poll question up, and so be sure to chime in on that. It's going to be, when was the last time you had a website checkup, which is going to be the focus of today's conversation. So, again, we invite you to continue the discussion over in the Facebook group, Focus Fridays. And so let's go and bring in our guest for the remainder of the program. It's Bonnie Dye, founder of eTraining Live. Learn more about her at that website, etraininglive.com. So, Bonnie, welcome to the program today.
Thanks, Jamie. It's always good to be here.
And interesting, ironically enough, Bonnie even admitted that her website, and she does website design, needs a checkup. So she designs websites, and she even forgets to do a checkup on her own website from time to time. So
absolutely.
But we all have our things that we kind of get behind on. So first off, Bonnie, tell us a little bit about how you and Julianne met. You went through a CEO exchange, I believe.
I did. I was invited to one of the CEO exchanges, and I had really been looking for a group like that. So it was a perfect fit for me. I describe it as sort of a relaxed mastermind group, meeting with people that are in different businesses. They don't really know anything about my business, and I don't know anything about theirs. And that's perfect because that gives me fresh ideas, and that's exactly what happened. It's what I was looking for, and it's exactly what happened in the group. Because it's well facilitated, it's kind of guided so that the information is able to come out.
Did you have any problems remaining quiet? That's one of the prerequisites of the feedback. You got to sit there, can't talk when people are giving you the feedback, which can be a challenge for some people. How did you find that?
I found that the hardest part of the entire situation.
Everybody does.
Yeah, absolutely. But after the fact, I had an entire page of great ideas. From people. I was just writing as fast as I could.
What ends up happening, that's really great, because what ends up happening is so many times we're stopping people and saying, oh, I've already done that, or I have an excuse for why I shouldn't do that, or oh, no. And now you have this whole page of ideas that you actually heard and listened to, and that's what we want to see.
Exactly. Yeah. It was exactly what I had been looking for, so I really enjoyed it. And I've been to some since then, too. And
what were some of the challenges that you brought to the CEO Exchange, again, focusing on website design? And do you offer more services outside of website design as well?
I do. We offer hosting. We offer monthly maintenance plans just to make sure your website is kept updated. And we also we'll do, on a limited basis, we'll do a small project if we didn't build the website. Okay. If you need something added, like an e-commerce piece. Okay. Or a membership piece. Yeah.
So what were you facing, and what do you continue to face as one of your big challenges in your business every day?
The continuing challenge for me is how to talk about my business to the people who want to hear about it. And what I mean by that is the people who want me to build websites for them don't want to hear anything about the technology. Mm-hmm. They don't want to know how the clock works. They just want to know what time it is. So it's always hard for me to know what to post on social media, or even in a networking situation, what kinds of things to say. So that was the question that I put to the group, and they gave me great ideas. Mm-hmm. The big picture of it was, at the end of it was kind of like they want to hear about lifestyle. What's the result? Which is interesting because Julianne talks about that a lot. So they wanted to know what's going to happen after they have the website.
Right.
And so I learned a lot from the CEO Exchange.
We tell people all the time in CEO Exchanges, if you're telling people how you do it, you need to stop. Just stop yourself right there, because people don't want to know about the how. They want to know the why and the result. They don't, if you tell them how, they don't need you anymore. They'll either go do it themselves or shop what you just told them to somebody else.
Exactly.
How are apps coming into play now with websites? I know the app design and having an app is all the rage right now. Are you doing, and do you do app design on top of website design, or some people just foregoing the website altogether and just doing an app now instead of a website?
Well, I think there certainly are some people who are foregoing the website and going straight to the app, but that comes with an entirely different set of challenges. First of all, it's pretty expensive to have an app built in comparison to the price of having a website built. Right. And then secondly, you've got to jump through all the hoops with iTunes, to get the app found, or Stitcher or whatever platforms you're going to use to get the app found. So I think that's a big challenge.
How long does it take to get just a basic website up for a service provider that has a store or a basic product? I mean, price and time to get a website up for the person who just has never done that.
Okay, well, the time is a very variable, because the time depends on how long it takes you to get the information to me.
Right, one of the challenges, right?
Yeah, right. So for us to build a website, a basic, what we call a business card website or a credibility website, we say that it takes about 40 hours. It actually doesn't take quite that much technology time, but it takes that much time to get the meetings and get it all put together.
Now, if you have more content on the site, I mean, a basic site when it's built maybe have 5 pages, a basic about page, a contact page, services page. Does that hurt in search engines, or can proper SEO overcome other sites that have more content and more pages, for example?
Oh, that's a good question. It doesn't hurt. It certainly doesn't hurt. Everybody needs to have a credibility site.
But even if it's 5 pages versus a competitor that may have 500 pages, for example,
it's not going to hurt. It may not help you as much as their bigger site, certainly. Google is going to look for what they call authority. And because, Google's goal is to give you what you asked for when you typed in the question into Google. So they want to give you the best authority site that they think they can find. More content means better authority. So a 5-page website, the basic credibility website, is going to have a hard time competing against the big guy. It's like the neighborhood hardware store competing against Home Depot. But that neighborhood hardware store has the advantage of having the personal touch for their customers. So certainly a small niche site can do that too and compete with Google. The more content you have, the more you're going to look like an authority. And that's why people talk about blogging, although that's going by the wayside now, unless you're specifically having a blog.
I want to talk about that when we come back from the break, the importance of a blog, or how a blog can impact your business, because I do a daily blog of myself after each show. I do it right up on each of the shows. So I want to talk to you about how you think blogs are helping or may not be helping your business in today's market. Again, currently talking to Bonnie Dye. She's the founder of eTraining Live, and learn more about that at etraininglive.com. And also Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, where she helps bring out the CEO in you. Learn more and register for one of her upcoming CEO exchanges at FocusOnYouStrategy.com. You're listening to the Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Good morning. Delays in Holiday on southbound US 19 just south of alternate 19. Crash near Flora Avenue blocking at least one lane. Crash in Tampa on southbound 56th Street at Sly. Heavy traffic on westbound I-4 approaching downtown Tampa. Slow traffic on the southbound side of the Veterans from Van Dyke to around Hutchinson. And a crash being cleared in St. Pete on 38th Avenue North just east of 49th Street. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. Does your child struggle to concentrate and pay attention? What looks like ADD or autism may actually be caused by lead poisoning. Lead is a neurotoxin. It can cause permanent brain damage. Find out how to protect your family. Go to leadsafeamerica.org.
Today, partly cloudy and warm, high 83. Cold front moving in overnight, turning windy with a 10% rain chance, low 66. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, high 80.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. Again, we remind you to continue the conversation online at the Facebook group Focus Fridays, where there is a poll question up talking about how often or when was the last time that you had a website checkup. And if you've not had one in a while, you'll want to reach out to our guest today, Bonnie Dye, who is the founder of eTraining Live, and again, specializing in website design. And you can learn more at etraininglive.com. And Bonnie, you briefly mentioned, blogging, and it's something that I was told early on that you want to have a site that's continually changing. And one of the ways to do that is through a blog, whether it's daily or, weekly, which is probably more in the lines for the typical business owner. How relevant are blogs in today's marketplace on websites?
Well, blogs are still very relevant. The thing is that now we've come to realize that separating your website, the content of your website, and the goal of your website is not necessarily to have a blog. There for a while, when blogging first started, it was build a website so I can have a blog, and the idea of it kind of got twisted around, because the blog was good because it gave content for Google to allow you to show up as an authority. So you were talking about your business all the time on your blog, and that gave Google a lot of ammunition, which is perfect. Mm-hmm. But as people started building websites for small niches or as credibility sites, there's only so much you can say about a small business that's not doing a lot of changes. And for that reason, people are actually getting tripped up on the blogging piece. So nowadays, you can make an entire industry, an entire living from a blog if your website is meant to be a blog. But if your website is meant to be a credibility site for you, then we don't even recommend to people that they have a blog now. If they tell me they don't have anything to say on an ongoing basis, then there's no point in having a blog post there that's a year and a half old.
But how important is to have content that is continually changing? If you design your site and it looks great and everything, but if it doesn't change in 12 months, doesn't that hurt you in the eyes of Google?
It can hurt you in the eyes of Google, yes. You definitely want to have some updates now and then. And yes, if you can add content, it's the least expensive way that you can add content to your site and get SEO for Google.
We're actually going through this right now. We're doing a complete overhaul of our website at Focus just because of that fact. Mm-hmm. We haven't updated it in a while, and we realized a lot has changed, and we kind of lost focus away from our website, and we're more focused on the live events and things like that. So now we're really changing it.
Will small changes get the attention of Google just going in there and doing something, or does it have to be impactful changes to get Google's attention?
Really good question, Jamie. Any kind of change will draw Google's attention. They have what they call bots that circulate all the time. And so any bot, that's the beauty, by the way, of WordPress, because WordPress automatically sends notices to Google. That's why I switched to WordPress about 7 years ago. And we use that exclusively
I'm hearing
now.
WordPress is becoming like the brand name in website design. What was it before WordPress, and what are those other options that people are doing out there?
Well, before WordPress, we used to use Dreamweaver mostly, and there were a couple of other major programs that we used. But everything had to be done manually. WordPress is the first website building platform that came along that automatically notifies Google anytime you make a change.
Right.
So that's the beauty of it. Now, in answer to your question, there's some other things on the market like Wix and I think Squarespace, and those are basically templates that you can use to build.
You can't do as much with those. So WordPress
well, there's a downfall to using those as well.
Oh, there's a lot of downfalls, but you can't do any customizing. But to answer your question in regards to Google, any kind of a change will get you noticed in Google, but that won't necessarily get you to the top of the SEO. What'll get you to the top of the SEO searches is having content that people want to hear or want to read about. So that's where the blogging comes in. And if you have something to say about your business, the least expensive way to get SEO for yourself is to hire a blogger for you. Hire a copywriter to create about 300 words a month for you. Mm-hmm. Put that on your website as a blog. The only thing that I'm cautioning against is don't start a blog and leave it sit there for a year and a half. People come to your website and think that nothing has been happening.
A year and a half ago and everything.
Exactly.
Now, Google's algorithms are continually changing. What, or do you know, is Google looking for today as in terms of relevance to make your site, rank higher, or they're constantly changing, to where you can't even keep up with that?
Right. Video, Julianne, you're absolutely right. Video is a big one. Let me just say that I consider SEO a completely separate and very distinct and very specialized field. So I think to be a good SEO expert, you really need to be concentrating on it in the same way that I concentrate on WordPress.
Right.
I'm actually a beta tester for WordPress because I want to be knowledgeable about what's coming next.
Right.
So I can touch on the SEO for you a little bit, and that is that Google obviously is looking for authority. They want your website to say something, to give the information to somebody when they send us there from the search. And they want about 300 words to consider any blog post or any content an authority. And that gets a little hard for people.
All right, good discussion here. Again, talking with Bonnie Dye, founder of eTraining Live, again, specializing in website design. So if you could use her services, visit etraininglive.com. And also alongside Julianne Nichols on this Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show. Learn more about her and her services and register for an upcoming CEO Exchange. Again, the next one's being on the 15th and the 17th. And you can register for those on the events calendar over at focusonustrategy.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Street at Sly. Heavy traffic on westbound I-4 approaching downtown Tampa. Slow traffic on the southbound side of the Veterans from Van Dyke to around Hutchinson. And a crash being cleared in St. Pete on 38th Avenue North, just east of 49th Street. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Someone you know is suffering from Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They're dealing with excruciating pain and days when they won't be able to get out of bed. Help someone you know and support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America at ccfa.org.
Today, partly cloudy and warm, high 83. Cold front moving in overnight, turning windy with a 10% rain chance, low 66. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, high 80.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly. Again, continue the conversation online in the Facebook group Focus Fridays, where we have a poll question up talking about when the last time you got a website checkup. And if it's been a while, you definitely want to reach out to our guest today, who is Bonnie Dye, founder of eTraining Live. Learn more about her at eTrainingLive.com.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about, SEO and where you rank in that SEO and how can you move up a little bit. And I've been told that if you go and you Google your business or yourself and you see what comes up, that usually that first category, so let's say it's Facebook, maybe Focus on Your Strategy comes up in Facebook first on the SEO as opposed to my website. They say if you go there and utilize that platform to direct people back to your website, that will help. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, that is exactly right. The one thing that I would caution against is what I call the hamster wheel, because what happens is, as I get ready to build a website for people, one of the things, of course, I ask them the kinds of things they want. And one of the things that they always say is, I want to make sure people can get to Facebook from my website. So, and of course, we want people to be able to get to our website to get to Facebook. But you bring up an exact point, because LinkedIn also will often come up
yes,
above your website ranking, and Facebook comes up above your website ranking. YouTube comes up above your website ranking often. And so whichever one of those is working for you, you definitely need to use that, excuse me, to send people to your website, but then make sure that you're finding a way to send them other places from your website too. And I don't necessarily mean just other social media. You can actually connect with other businesses that are complementary to you, but just don't get into the hamster wheel of sending them from Facebook to your website and then from your website to Facebook, and they're not learning anything new about you.
Right.
So why do we need websites today with all the social media platforms that are out there then? So for a consumer that's saying, oh, I've got a Facebook page, I got a LinkedIn, why do I need a website also? How do you answer that?
You know, I get that question more often than any other question. And the answer to that is, the reason you need a website is because nowadays the website is your business online. It's the real estate. It's the only piece of real estate that you own. And what I mean by that is, if you have your business entirely based on Facebook, you can actually create an entire business on Facebook nowadays. You can have an e-commerce site, you can sell products, you can do everything, except that you can't own it. And so any time that Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever platform you're using, if they decide to change the rules about how your business can run, then your business is done.
That's an excellent point right there.
And the website allows you to always be in charge of what your content is, how it looks, how it's designed, what colors you can use, what the backgrounds are like.
Isn't that also the same with these programs like Wix and these
yes.
theme platforms? You don't own that, and that anytime they could shut down or lose all your information and you can't get it back.
That's exactly right. And I've had people come to me with that exact problem. Can you save my stuff? Where's my stuff? Well, we don't have it.
Yeah. They have your stuff.
They have
and they
your
own
stuff.
it.
That's exactly right.
You paid them to own it.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
How often do sites just get corrupted to the point where they just have to be rebuilt altogether? Is that very common out there?
It's a lot more common. Yeah, it's actually more common than you might think. As a matter of fact, I had one just not too long ago. A client came to me. I had not built his original site. Somebody else had built it, and they ran into a glitch trying to make the site go live. So they kind of got it halfway live. And then they just kind of left it. They told him, well, we can't do anything more. Mm-hmm. So he was kind of left in the lurch with a website that didn't really look all that good online. So because he didn't know what to do, he was just kind of scrounging to find out what to do, and in the meantime the website got a virus.
So how does a website get a virus, though? Isn't that dependent upon where it's hosted and what server it's on? So if you're using GoDaddy, for instance, I mean, is there any risk of you getting your site corrupted just in your normal day-to-day use?
Yes, there is.
How does that work then?
The way that it works is that GoDaddy is your hosting company, certainly, or whatever your hosting company is, they certainly put up some security. In fact, sometimes they even have some additional security that they will offer to sell you. But the website is a vulnerable piece. It's an action. It's an open-ended piece where you want your customers and clients to interact. And because of that, there are ways to get in. If somebody wants to hack your website and decides that it's worthwhile to try to get your audience, then there are ways to get in.
Can you blame your hosting company, though? Because mine right now is hosted by GoDaddy. If something like that were to happen, could I blame GoDaddy and say, hey, why'd you let that get into, the sites?
Well, you could try, but it probably wouldn't work.
Wouldn't give you anywhere. But
yeah, and the truth is, it's not their fault. It's not their responsibility to keep your house locked, just because they're selling you the insurance.
Right.
Or just because they're selling you the storage unit for it. So, no, they're not going to take responsibility for it. It is your responsibility to keep the website safe and secure, and the easiest way to do that is to keep it updated. That's why WordPress has updates about twice a month nowadays. Mm-hmm. When I first started working with WordPress 7 years ago, they had two updates a year, and now it's 2 a month.
So is there a program or something I need to tell GoDaddy to install? Like, on your desktop, you have the McAfee or the Norton antivirus that you install to protect your computer. But what do I need to know about to protect my website efficiently when it's hosted on external
Bonnie.
sites?
Yes, really. Yeah, that's like saying, are you going to do your own oil changes on your car, mm-hmm. especially if it's a new digitized car? The answer to that is you really don't want to be messing around with it.
This is the whole reason for the conference, for Automate, Delegate, Eliminate.
Exactly.
Bonnie can tell you where you can automate, where you need to delegate some of these things that we're talking about right now, and what to stop doing. Stop trying to do these things that could eventually cause more problems. I mean, we can talk about my own situation where we have a customized website. And I had a new person come on who was updating our calendar. And during the course of that, one little thing that he did caused our website to shut down.
Oh, no.
And what happened is he was putting in dates. And when he put in the dates, the end date was not put in. He put it never ends. So the system was just putting on this event forever and ever and ever, yep. Which told the hosting company, you've got a virus or something's going on, something's not right, and it shut us down.
Wow, something as simple as that.
But the great thing was I have Bonnie on call, and Bonnie, who does our maintenance and updates for our website, got us back up in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Is that a common mistake there with some of these sites? Or you don't put an end date on your event or something?
It's a common type of mistake. Yeah.
It was a plugin that we were using that was with our site. So
exactly.
It, yeah.
So 2 points here. Number one, the plugins need to be updated in a specific way if you have a customized site. Now, if in a specific order, sometimes, if you have a customized site. Now, if you're using one of those templated sites, then yeah, you can get away with it a little bit. But that's point one. Point two that I want to make on that 8 minutes. First of all, because of the work that Julianne has given me to do the work that I've done with her as a mentor, I've learned how to have some processes in place. So we have a process in place for those types of emergencies, and that's why she was able to have the website back up in 8 minutes. But the other piece of it, and this is important, is that she was able to tell me exactly what she had done. And because of that, we knew exactly where to look to fix it.
Right.
Often people, they either don't know what they've done or they don't want to tell me because they're afraid they're going to sound stupid.
Just own it. Just say, I hit the wrong button.
Exactly.
I did. This is what we did.
Exactly.
Because you're never going to be able to figure it out. You know, it takes you a long time.
It takes much longer because we have to troubleshoot every piece of it, one piece at a time.
Yeah, we knew we had messed up. We were just like, okay, what did we just do?
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
I equate it with, I tell people that it's like going to your house to look for your fingernail clippers. You know, there's some obvious places I can look. I'd check the bathroom, check the bedroom. But honestly, my dad used to keep his in his workshop in the garage. So you just never know unless you can give me a hint. You know, if you can give me a hint of where to look, I can fix the problem really quickly.
That reminds me of a funny story back when I was in corporate. You know, when you're in corporate, you know, you can't do any updates or changes to the corporate computers.
Right.
You know, you get warned about that. And I worked in the laboratory, and my friend there, who was like, you know, Mr. Perfect and everything, he upgraded to, I think, Windows whatever at the time or whatnot was, and then our laboratory operating system didn't work anymore. And so he called the IT department and said, yeah, I'm having a problem with this. Told him the problem. He goes, did you upgrade the so-and-so? They knew exactly what he had done.
Yep.
So he's like, yeah. So he got into big trouble, which was like completely embarrassing to him.
One of the biggest things I learned is when somebody asks you the question, they already know the answer.
That's right. That's
so
right.
Just own it.
That's right.
It was just so funny because he was like Mr. Perfect, never did anything wrong, and he got written up for it and everything. He was so humiliated and embarrassed that he got caught and everything because it shut down the operating system for the laboratory, and they knew exactly what he had done when he called with the problem.
Yeah.
Now you're also on the host committee for the upcoming Focus on You Entrepreneurs Conference. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to get involved in the conference.
Well, I was honored. I was really excited that Julianne asked me to be on one of the committees. First of all, because I always enjoy opportunities to work more closely with her. I learn something from Julianne every conversation I have. And so we could have a whole
right
separate
back at
radio
you. I
show
learned a lot
on
about
that.
you, too. So yeah, you do a great job, too.
But I really like the whole concept that she has for this conference. So that was exciting for me, too. The fact that she wants to make sure that it's not just another go there, sit for a long time, and take a bunch of notes that you're never going to use. So we're looking at it from a standpoint of action items, usable information that all of the entrepreneurs can leave with and have a starting place to move themselves forward on their business.
Featuring up to 40 speakers, I think you said?
Well, actually, I think it's going to be about 30 now.
Okay.
Yeah, but based on our new sessions and how much information. We don't want to overload people too much, but finding a hotel that can accommodate that many breakout sessions was a challenge. And we're actually having a hotel built for us right now. The Wyndham Grand Hotel is actually being built right now as we speak. It'll be state of the art, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm going for a hard hat tour next week, so I'm real excited to see the updates for that.
And Bonnie, I know you're excited to hear Michael Gerber, the keynote speaker for the event.
I'm very excited to hear Michael Gerber, and I've been a fan of his books for a long time. So. And the great info that's going to come from the strategy sessions, the breakout sessions, I think is really going to be helpful for the entrepreneurs too.
And that conference, again, going on April 27th and 28th, so be sure to mark your calendar, and you can pick up tickets shortly on the website, focusonetrepreneursconference.com. Again, there will be an early bird pricing by the end of the year, so be sure to, again, get those tickets before the first of the year and mark your calendars for April 27th and 28th. You're currently listening to the Focus Fridays edition of That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Heavy traffic on southbound 275 from Fletcher Avenue to Hillsborough and a crash in the center lane just south of Sly. Also westbound I-4 very slow from 301 to 275. Crash on northbound 301 at the Summit Expressway. Crash on eastbound Waters approaching Sheldon in the right-hand lane, and heavy traffic on southbound US 19 and Holiday. Crash near Flora Avenue. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uter Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. There is a little boy or girl living in poverty right now. They don't have enough to eat, are sick, and can't go to school. And you can release them from that poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Today, partly cloudy and warm, high 83. Cold front moving in overnight, turning windy with a 10% rain chance, low 66. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy, high 80.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to Focus Fridays on That Business Show now with Jamie and Kelly. We invite you to continue the conversation online in the Facebook group Focus Fridays. Then again, where we have a poll question up and talks about when the last time that you had a website checkup. So again, be sure to continue the discussion in the Facebook group Focus Fridays. So currently talking to Bonnie Dye. She's the founder of eTraining Live, and learn more about her at eTrainingLive.com. And so Bonnie, why does your website need continually checked up?
Well, the reason that it needs continually checked up is because, as we mentioned, it's kind of a living organism, and it's open and vulnerable to viruses in a way that the older technology never was. So there's the good and the bad of that. The good of having the open technology is that it's easy for you to get SEO on Google. There are a lot of easy ways for you to do that. It's easy for people to find you from Facebook and so on. The downside of that is you have a lot of potential doors open on your website that the bad guys can get into. Mm-hmm. So, and they spend their time doing that. In the early days of viruses, we always used to think of the website being brought down by the virus. Nowadays, the bad guys actually want to keep your website up. And that what happens is they use it, they create a backdoor into your website, and then they end up diverting your traffic either to a porn site or a gambling site or something that's for their own purposes. And if you don't have regular checkups on your website, you don't even know that's happening.
So Focus on You could have a whole new meaning if somebody got a hold of it.
Absolutely.
And we hear about these site attacks more and more. We had a big one a couple weeks ago, denial of service attacks, DOS attacks that are one of the favorite ways for attackers.
Netflix got in, and
every single business, business is vulnerable nowadays. But the webs from a lot of different ways, like when it's Netflix, they've got so many ways to get into their business. But from your website standpoint, you really need to have the checkups. I recommend once a month at the very outside, because WordPress actually is doing updates twice a month now. And those updates, sometimes they're feature changes, but more often than not, it's a new way that somebody has found to get into your website, and WordPress immediately is on top of it, creating, plugging that hole.
Well, that's what saved us, because of the fact that we had backed up we had just backed up our system, and if we hadn't done that, we would have lost a lot of information.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you had to go back to a starting point in order to get us back online again.
That's exactly right. And we had a starting point for you that was, less than 3 weeks old, I think.
Yeah, that makes a huge
So
difference.
it made it really easy to do that. But I had a situation just not too long ago. A guy called me, and I did not build his website, but I was referred to him because often web developers don't want to get involved in that kind of a thing. But he had a membership site that was actually shut down by his hosting company for exactly the same thing that happened to you, Julianne. What was happening on his website, there was so much activity all of a sudden that the hosting company thought it was a virus. Well, it wasn't actually a virus, but what it was is his membership site that had 200 paid members. When we looked at it on the inside, he actually had 8,500 members.
But he didn't know
and
that.
He didn't know it. And
Okay.
he didn't know it, and they weren't paid members. They were actually, and the interesting thing, they were almost all from Russia. They had legitimate email addresses, so it wasn't just a bot. It wasn't just a virus. These were actually, like I said, his traffic had been hijacked, and they were just handing off memberships to this. This happened to be in the health industry. And so people
8,500 people had access to his information and didn't pay for it.
Somebody was getting paid for it, but he wasn't. Yeah, okay. I have no doubt somebody was getting paid for it. So so he had those 8,500 members, which shut down the website. And then in addition to that, he had a virus inside the website, completely separate. The virus didn't shut down his site, though. The 8,500 members did. The interesting thing about it is that he was actually paying his hosting company for additional security, supposedly to protect him from the viruses, and it didn't.
Wow.
And the reason it didn't is because the WordPress had not been updated. The old security holes were there, had not been plugged, and therefore the virus got in through all the security.
It's scary, though, when you get these major companies that are getting hacked. It's just like, is your basic website, safe? When you got Netflix and Target and Sony and all those big companies' sites that are getting hacked. These attackers are sitting around with nothing better to do than find the holes in the system.
Exactly.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it really is. It's hard to keep up if you're trying to do it alone. It's not that hard to keep up if you just treat it like anything else that you want to protect. If you want to have car insurance, homeowners insurance, if you want to put some safety measures, even an alarm system on your house or on your car, those are the kinds of things that you can do. It's not that expensive to do it, to be able to keep your website safe.
Well, and just saving your website from yourself. From us, we did that to ourselves.
Really
so
good, yeah.
it wasn't necessarily somebody who's trying to hack us. We did it to ourselves.
Actually, that happens more often than viruses
Exactly.
do. Truthfully, yeah.
Don't many website builds have where you can go back to a previous build if you screw something up so bad? I remember that being a feature, or it's still a feature in operating systems, the system restore, where you screw something up so bad. That saved me many a times on my computer where I've done something I need to go back to yesterday when I didn't have that problem.
Well, the operating system on your computer will have that kind of restore built in, but that's because Microsoft is building it in, or Apple is building it into the operating system. Because your website is built for you, custom built for you, unless that's built in, you don't have it.
So let's talk about, we got a couple minutes left, what people need to know when building a new website. So what would they need to know to get started with you today?
Okay, well, there's a couple of things that people definitely, if they've thought about it ahead of time, it definitely makes their website build go faster and easier. And the first question that I always ask a person is, who is your target customer? Who is the person that you want to reach? And the more information you can give me about that person, the more we can customize a website that is going to help them. And then the main purpose of the website. Sometimes you specifically want the website to sell your product, to sell your book. Sometimes you just want it to be credibility, so you've got got a place to send people. And then the other thing is the most important message you want them to see when they hit the site. What's the main thing, the main message that you want? And the other thing that's really helpful when we're working up a quote for you is know who your competitors are, the main competitors in your industry. Even if you think your industry is a niche, there's somebody out there, chances are, that are doing it. So we need to look at what they're doing.
And many times, a lot of people don't know this information, which is where we can help
Exactly.
them. But at Focus, we work with people all the time with their ideal clients. So they're ready for people like you
Yes.
to be able to say, okay, we know who our target customer is. We know what the purpose is. We know what we want to say. And now we're ready to build a website.
Yes, actually, and I've actually got that automated now thanks to mentoring from Julianne. If you contact me to have a discussion about a website, the first thing that happens is I send you a little 5-question questionnaire. And once you fill that out and send it back to me, then you automatically get a link to my calendar. It saves your time because you have the information ahead of time. We don't both have to spend time trying to figure it out.
All right. Bonnie Dye, founder of eTraining Live. Thank you so much. A good discussion today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jamie.
And Julianne, great discussion again.
Yes, great. It's always great to be here.
And another great Focus Fridays. And again, continue the discussion online in the Facebook group Focus Fridays, where there is a poll question up that's asking when the last time you got a website checkup. And if it's been a while, reach out to Bonnie Dye, and you can do that through etraininglive.com or 727-248-0393. 727-248-0393. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.